It was a week of firsts. The first time since the state playoff format, Ketchum wins its first Football League championship. For the first time this season, Arlington boys soccer doesn't win. And for the first time this season, Poughkeepsie football doesn't lose. We've got the catches, the scrambles, and the spur-of-the-moment gambles.
That was unbelievable. I thought he was going to throw it or get sacked, but he just kept running. I saw him keep running. I was shocked. It was crazy.
Who wants to wait 2 days to see the highlights on their TV when they can see it within hours here, anywhere and anytime?
You know, that's a great question.
Yeah, well, we've got plenty more where that came from. The mashup is next. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the mashup here on the Hudson Valley Sports Report. I'm Charlie Carnaccio. First and foremost, we are pleased to share our first major milestone with you. We just broke the 100,000 views milestone this past week, and not bad since we've only been around about 5 weeks. So we wanted to thank you for your loyalty and our sponsors for their support, and we look forward to more great things to come in the weeks and months ahead. All right, let's get to the action, and what a week of milestones it was. Ketchum wins the first league championship since the state started the statewide playoff format for football. John Jay wins the league title for the fourth time in the past 7 years, and Poughkeepsie breaks the ice and gets its first win since hiring head coach John Castellano about 8 weeks ago. And that's just in football. There were firsts in soccer and consistency in swimming. But let's start with football and the Ketchum Indians. You know, there is a deep-rooted history between these two teams, Ketchum and Mahopac. Ketchum head coach Pat Keevens went to Mahopac High School. His father, Jerry Keevens, was the head football coach there for about 20 years. There are players on Ketchum who have suffered through 3 years of losing to Mahopac, so it's no wonder why.
I hate that team so much. With all my heart, I hate that team so much.
Well, hate is a strong word, but it's a rare, heated rivalry, even though the schools are 31 miles apart. But here's what happens when you take that passion and you channel it in a positive way. Good things will happen. That's exactly what Kevin Duke and the Ketchum Indians did. Brian Smith was at the game and sent in this report.
Ketchum's Matt Krumholtz breaks some tackles and breaks free for a 41-yard touchdown run, giving the Indians a 6-0 lead with 55 seconds left in the first quarter. With time running down in the first half, Ketchum's Roddy Kearney catches it in the end zone for an 11-yard touchdown. The Indians go into halftime leading Mahopac 13-0. Kevin Duke finds a hole and he rushes into the end zone for 9 yards. Even Mom is loving it on the sidelines. Ketchum's Austin Lyle intercepts Ryan Eaton's pass in the end zone to seal the victory for the Indians. Ketchum goes on to win 28-6, the final, and they're league champs.
I've been waiting 4 years for this, and especially against that team that has kicked our butt for 3 years now since I've been here. And coming out here and beating them in this fashion for league champs, I wouldn't want any other thing.
I have a group of kids that have been up with me, several starters. They've been here 3 or 4 years, and they've taken their lumps, and this is their turn, and it was important for them, and they took care of business.
Speaking of rivalries, Ketchum and John Jay meet up this Saturday at 3 p.m. on John Jay's field. We'll be there, and that should be a great one of the best games between Jay and Ketchum since maybe the early 90s. Our Lady of Lourdes had one of their best games of the season against Nanuet. It challenged the team's tenacity and championship mentality. The Warriors of Lourdes, hosting Nanuet, needed to come from behind 3 times in this one. Our Lady of Lourdes hosting Nanuet on homecoming night, so the Warriors jumped out to a quick 6-0 lead as a gift to the fans. But then, lofts up a gift to Nanuet. Ryan Hanning comes up with the interception, and it puts Nanuet in a great position to slip one into the end zone. The give to Sean Celestine does just that. Nanuet hits their extra point, making it a 7-6 game in the first. Later in the half, Nanuet hits a field goal, and that makes it a 10-6 game at halftime. But in the second half was where Lourdes was about to shine. Off the punt, Nick Cuccia fakes the reverse and takes this one up the sidelines. Cuccia runs it 45 yards, and Lourdes finds themselves at a great spot to take the lead back. Dean Rogers shows he's back on track and hits his favorite receiver, Steve Caddenau. But here comes Nanuet. Hanny rolls back to pass and sees that the Lourdes safety is fallen, so he lofts it up to a wide-open Nick O'Connor. And that makes it 17-14 Nanuet in the fourth. But Roger isn't done yet. With 3 minutes left, he starts to pick apart the defense. Cadnar is all over this pass, and Lourdes is on the hunt. The pass is working, so Roger tries it on Bryce Joya. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking. And then it's up to Dean Roger. The sophomore quarterback scrambles to find an open receiver and comes upon an open lane in the process. So Roger takes the lane and scores with under 2 minutes to play. And Our Lady of Lourdes ekes out an exciting run on homecoming night. 22-17 the final. Everyone wanted to talk about the game-winning play by the sophomore quarterback.
All season, haven't really been a first-half team, but second half our guys dig deep, and Dean, he does miracles, just going out there and running the ball when he has to, and gets it done.
That was unbelievable. I thought he was going to throw it or get sacked, but he just kept running. I saw him keep running. I was shocked. It was crazy.
It was great. I was ecstatic. I mean, Bryce was helping me up. Everybody was patting me on the back. I'm looking up at the scoreboard. We're up. The whole crowd is cheering. Everybody's on their feet. I'm running back, and all my coaches are going crazy. Everybody on the sidelines going crazy. Just an awesome feeling.
The Arlington Admirals needed their win over Carmel to secure a spot for the playoffs outright, but Carmel came into Arlington's campus with a game plan and a spoiler mentality. And I hope that's a bucket of stickum because it sure was needed on this night. Arlington, on numerous occasions, tried for that one big play, but it seemed like it was just going to be one of those nights for the offense. Every time the Admirals went for the big play, they came up short. Still, Arlington found a way to get into the end zone in the second quarter and struck first with a 6-0 lead after the extra point failed. But as the second half was winding down, Carmel went into ram mode and barreled their way through the middle of the field and Arlington's defensive line. Joe Rodriguez bobs and weaves his way for a 13-yard gain. With a few yards to go, the give to Mark Gualano is all you need. And with the extra point, Carmel took a 7-6 lead at the half. In the second half, more tough times for Arlington. Off the punt, a misfortune gives it right back to Carmel, and they take advantage of the golden opportunity. Once again, it's Gualano for the score, and Carmel takes a 14-6 lead through 3 quarters. But in the fourth quarter, you thought maybe Arlington had a chance. A blocked punt gives the Admirals great field position with under 2 minutes remaining. But as we said, it was just one of those nights for Arlington, and Brandon Tobin's pass is picked off by Will Lawrence. Where there's a will, there's a way, and Carmel upsets Arlington with a 14-6 win. Oh, what a difference 5 weeks makes. The late hiring of head coach John Castellano was partly responsible for the team's 0-5 start. But now, with a couple of months together, Poughkeepsie look much different than we saw them on week 1 of the season. First offensive play of the game for the Pioneers. Markel Green surprises Pelham with a 30-yard TD strike to break the ice. From there, it was like the beginning of the season never happened. Markel Green looks to throw, rolls left, nothing happening, so he takes it himself, crosses the grain, comes all the way around to the near side of the field, up the sidelines, and oh baby, the Pioneers are making it look easy. Later in the second, Jovan Atkinson does some heavy lifting, carrying 3 Pelham defenders on his back into the end zone. Poughkeepsie led 20-0 at halftime and go on to win this one 26-6 for its first win of the 2013 season. The John Jay soccer team knows that the road to the sectional championship has to go through Arlington. The Admirals are ranked number 1 in the state, number 2 in the nation. Still, the Patriots were going to test the soccer giants and test them on the big field at the Fritz Jordan Athletic Complex. A physical matchup between 2 physical and athletic teams. Jay had a few chances in the early goings. Marcus McKenzie settles this one, shoots it towards the net, but just misses the far corner and it goes wide. Later in the first half, nice scissor move by Kevin Contreras. Ahead to Peter Garson. Out to Brian Ashong, and he's got plenty of time to set up. Shoots it into traffic, Dave Vertis is there, and Arlington takes a 1-0 lead. And when you give the #1 ranked team in the state a 1-goal lead on its own field, it's tough to overcome. It was enough to make the Admirals 11-0 and John Jay 8-4.
Tough game. We know John Jay's a rival. They're going to come out strong and come out tough every single time. It was like that the first game of the season when we played them, and then same way the second time.
The Admirals had its 26-game winning streak snapped on Saturday in a scoreless draw with Mahopac. Technically, the Admirals still haven't lost since last year, so that keeps their unbeaten streak alive at 26. One of the best examples of consistency comes from the pool. The Arlington girls swim team has not lost a dual meet since 2007 and continues to roll past its competitors. The best sports report in the Hudson Valley. Woo! I'm gonna be on HBSR. The best sports report in the Hudson Valley. Woo! I'm gonna be on HBSR. The best sports report in the Hudson Valley. Woo! The Arlington girls swim team hasn't lost a dual meet since 2007, when most of the swimmers on this team were still in elementary school.
I don't make this a big issue because I don't want that to interfere with anything that the girls are doing or any way the way they are swimming.
Oops. Oh well, you can blame it on us when that does happen, but the streak was continuing on this night. The relay team of Megan Pagano, Kendra Graham, Claire Baker, and Anne-Marie Reale are the winners of the 200 medley relay with a time of 2 minutes and 12/10 of a second. In the 200 individual medley, in lane 5, Rebecca Bayonne wins it in a time of 2 minutes, 25 seconds, and 26. Arlington goes on to win at 93-69, and the streak continues. In other games from around the area, John Jay clinches its second consecutive league title with a 37-21 win over Mamaroneck, and they'll get the #1 seed going into the playoffs. Beacon travels down to Yonkers and takes the happy bus ride home with a 46-0 win. Taurus Phillips had 4 TDs and 2 interceptions. Pauling beat Blind Brook 14-6. Aaron Thomas was 9 for 18 for 127 yards passing and also had 2 TDs. Haldane's on a roll, second win in a row. They beat Palisades Prep 59-6. Will Moss 140 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns in this one. Over in Section 9, Marlboro continues to roll 61-18 over Ellenville. Ryan Carey, 240 yards passing. He had a TD that way and also 2 rushing touchdowns. Marcellus Faircloth, 256 yards rushing and 4 TDs. Marlboro is on a tear. Millbrook is on a consistent tear, 30-14 over Liberty. Henry Cardinal, 244 yards rushing, 2 TDs, and Millbrook clinches its second consecutive divisional title. In Class AA, Newburgh over Pine Bush 29-21. The Goldbacks have 1 loss this season, and that was to Monroe Woodbury. Highland continues to roll 27-13 over Sullivan West. Brandon Mack had 3 TD passes. Rondout Valley continues to show that they've got something to prove this year. 28-0 over Spackenkill. Malik with 2 TD passes and 160 yards rushing. Red Hook over New Paltz 36-23. Connor Bork gets the game-winning TD. Dover gets its first win of the season, 49-14 over Pine Plains. Dustin Bowen, 217 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. And up at the college level, a heartbreaker for the Marist Red Foxes on the road. Going against San Diego State, they had the game, but on San Diego State's last play, they win it 35-33. Still, Chucky Looney throws 5 TD passes, that's a record, 19 for 33 passing with 298 yards. It's a great week of matchups this coming weekend. Here's what to look for in the week ahead. On Tuesday, John Jay and Ketchum meet up in girls soccer. Beacon and Poughkeepsie also meet in girls soccer. Spackenkill hosts Red Hook in volleyball. On Wednesday, it's a rematch of that double overtime thriller between Arlington and Ketchum in boys soccer. This one is at Ketchum. Meanwhile, Jay and Arlington girls rematch after Jay beat Arlington 5-1 the first time around. And on Thursday, it's a rematch of that earlier matchup in volleyball where John Jay surprised everyone and disposed of Arlington in 3 easy sets. We'll get to see how much Arlington has improved and see how serious John Jay's team is. Meanwhile, the Back and Kill girls soccer team is on a roll. They'll face Millbrook. On Friday, Lourdes can clinch another league title with a win over Pleasantville. Marlboro gets to play FDR. We'll see how the Presidents respond after their loss to Goshen. Then on Saturday, it's cross country at Bowdoin. Highland has a pretty good rivalry with Back and Kill, and they need this one. They get this win, and then it's a big showdown with Marlboro next weekend. And then, of course, the marquee matchup, John Jay and Ketchum. John Jay coming in at 6-0, Ketchum at 5-1. 2 schools in the Wappinger Central School District, 2 schools that are both Class A teams, 2 schools that play on the worst fields in Dutchess County, and 2 of the best programs in Dutchess County. But you know what? The game is at John Jay, so stop off at Home Depot or at Lowe's, pick up some light bulbs because the scoreboard may be a little bit hard to read. I'm Charlie Carnaccio. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll see you next week on The MashUp.